Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'll be explaining Chapter 36, Broken Windows Theory. Before I explain this theory to you, I made a quick video that explains how this theory got its name. Hope you enjoy!
Oh, come on!
Ah, good as new. Where are you, you little punk?
Yo, see, cut!
So, what did you just watch? In an inner city neighborhood, there are two different homes that are possible targets for vandals. The first home, a thug comes up to the possible house and tests it out by throwing a rock through the window. The homeowner is home and is annoyed by what has happened and immediately fixes the shattered window. Later that night, the thug comes by to see that the window is now fixed and that the homeowner is home and is on high alert for more vandals. However, the second home, the thug comes up to the home and throws a rock through the window. This time, the homeowner is a drunken slob who stumbles out of her room to see what happened and sees the damage and does not care. The thug comes back 2 days later and sees that the window is still broken. To make sure that this window is still going to remain broken and that the homeowner does not care about this house, he throws a second rock through it. This time, no one is home to see nor care about the shattered window. 2 days later, the thug comes back to see that the window still indeed is shattered and that no one is there to care for the home. This time, he calls his crew over and kicks the door in, ready to take over the home. Even as the gang is kicking the door in, they assert their dominance by yelling their gang name to alert other members of the neighborhood that they have now taken over. A home where one window is broken and left, all the windows will still be broken. Broken Windows Theory. Who came up with this? James Wilson and George Kelling. They view communities like homes with a broken window. A community breaks down the moment one item in the community is left unattended because it shows disorder. The first broken window is beggars. If ignored, robbers move in knowing that no one will catch them or say anything to them because if no one cared for the beggars, who will care for a robber? To fix these windows, police officers need to go back to community policing and use foot patrol. What is foot patrol? It is knowing the community and their problems. You are able to be more socialized with the residents. You appear more approachable when you are known, so people are more likely to come up to you and get help in certain situations. Safe and Clean Neighborhood Program. This took place in Newark, New Jersey in the mid-1970s. It happened across 28 different cities, and it started assigning police officers to foot patrol. The goal was to make the community's life quality substantially better. All the police chiefs were against it because they thought that foot patrol does not work, but the government insisted. Police Foundation Report. So 5 years after this program took place, Washington, D.C. released a report on it. It turned out that crime rates had not gone down with this foot patrol. However, it did make the residents feel safer, although they were not. This is because the officers now kept the streets clear of those who were once viewed as dangerous, such as bums, drunks, panhandlers, anyone who might come up to them and harass them are now gone. The initial skeptic foot patrol officers now loved and preferred this over being in a patrol car. They liked socializing with the residents, and they felt that they had a better connection with them and were able to understand them better. Then, in 1969, Philip Zimbaldo decided to test this broken windows theory. He took 2 cars and placed one in the Bronx and one in Palo Alto, California. He wanted to see what would happen if the cars were left unattended. Would they stay the same? Would vandals attack them? He was just curious as to see what would go on. In the Bronx, after 10 minutes of the car being left unattended, the radiator and battery was taken by a family of a mother, father, and a child who came up and took it away. 24 hours later, everything of value was gone in the car, and the only thing left to do was vandalize the rest of it. This included smashing all of its windows, breaking off parts of it, and even ripping up the upholstery. Small children began to use it as a jungle gym even. Offenders seemed to be business professional whites, not your typical offender. In Palo Alto, California, a week went by and the car sat there untouched. Zimbaldo decided to smash a section of the car to see if that would have any effect on the people there. Only a few hours later, the car was flipped over and absolutely destroyed. Again, the offenders seemed to be business professional whites, not your typical offender. Zimbaldo concluded that property left alone is viewed as a free-for-all for all vandals and people who typically would not commit crimes and find themselves vandalizing objects for pleasure and for knowing that they won't get in trouble. People care for their belongings, but once they see someone else has vandalized a quote-unquote prized possession, they realize that no one really cares for it and that they attack it, viewing it as free game. Now, in neighborhoods, their downfall is you can have a happy, loving neighborhood where everyone cares for one another, and that could quickly fall to ruins once one home is abandoned and the upkeep isn't met. Soon, kids will smash windows and become reckless, which causes other parents to stop caring about the neighborhood children like they once did and remove their kids from this environment. If able, they will move away. Those who cannot move away, the children become delinquents and they vandalize property for fun. They start fights, hang out in front of stores, and disrespect their elders, and makes it acceptable for drunks and druggies to pass out on the streets to quote-unquote sleep it off. People become scared to leave their homes, fearing a stranger may attack or harass them. This is a common fear that most people hold, the fear of a violent attack by a complete stranger. Seeing criminal acts, but people turn the other cheek and they do not want to get involved. They do not care for where they live because they view it as just a place where they live and not as their actual home. Susan Estritz of Harvard Law School conducted a public fear survey. She concluded that 3/4 of adults will cross the street when a gang of teenagers is on the same side as them. Half of people she surveyed will switch sides seeing at least one stranger youth. In a housing project, many people agreed that the most dangerous spot was where teens would drink and listen to loud music, but in reality, no crime had ever taken place there. Fear causes neighbors to completely ignore each other. They are afraid of one another, and they do not want anything to do with each other. The major problem is with gangs. People want gangs gone, but they can form and become a nuisance to the community without doing anything illegal. This binds the cops' hands because they are not able to do anything legally to arrest them when no illegal actions are being done. Saying certain things or even their presence is legal, but people want them completely gone because they don't feel safe when they're around. They can single-handedly destroy a community just by their presence and the words they say. People in the community can help stop gangs from forming by talking to teenagers and setting strict rules with them for inside and outside the home that the whole community can agree on. Keep windows from being broken. Communities take action in their own hands by shop owners hire off-duty officers to work security in their shops because people fear their official presence more than the average person hired as security. Foot patrol is widely needed but lacks of officers because a lot of people aren't wanting to become police officials anymore, so the police officers need to go where needed. We need to protect our community. We need to protect our community because when one small problem starts and it isn't tended to, the whole community will soon collapse.